following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds like 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Everybody, welcome in on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a great show for you, and I am promising that we are going to have some fun today. It'll start early, trust me. Let's check in up on the plateau, say hello to Coach Watson Brown. Look at him sporting his Carolina shirt.
It's Carolina colors, but it's not a Carolina shirt, George. I mean, I don't have a Carolina shirt.
And why is that?
Because my brother's too cheap to give me a shirt. I mean, you'd think.
I know he'll appreciate that.
You think money he's making, he could give me one shirt somewhere along the way, but no.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes.
He's got a good contract.
Yeah. Yeah, you think he's got enough money in a contract to give me one shirt.
Yeah, but
one.
Gosh.
With Carolina on it somewhere. No, this is Oakley. See, it's not Carolina. It doesn't have UNC on it anywhere.
Okay. Did you get it before he became the coach there?
Probably. Since I don't buy a whole lot of clothes since retirement day. So.
Oh, I better shut up here.
You better let it be at that point because it could come back to haunt you, brother.
I'm in no position to talk. Okay, let's check in with Terry McCormick. Watson, we're going to do a little quiz with Terry right off the bat. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Terry, there are three things in life that are guaranteed. What are they?
Death, taxes, and right now the Yankees playing horrible. Is that what you were getting at,
yeah,
George?
Taxes, and you can take to the bank. I'm not taking the Yankees tonight.
Well, they're due.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Your club has won 2 of its last 13. Congratulations.
We are atrocious. No Giancarlo Stanton in the lineup. No Matt Carpenter in the lineup. No DJ LeMahieu right now in the lineup. So we are playing with, well, what's a nice way to say it? Aaron Judge and a bunch of scrubs.
Right. Okay, so let's get to the important stuff. Tampa Bay in town today for practice session number 1. Terry, tell us what all went on. First of all, any fights?
No fights today, George. Not any even close that I saw. I watched the Titans offense go against the Buccaneers defense today. Tomorrow I'll watch the Titans defense against the Tampa Bay offense. But today, if you want on the good side, I saw a really strong day from Ryan Tannehill for the ball. He looked confident. He looked very accurate for the most part. The only interception that he threw was on a miscommunication with Kyle Phillips, where Phillips went one way and the ball went the other right into the awaiting arms of linebacker Devin White of the Bucs. But other than that, Tannehill was very sharp today, and looks like he's starting to get a rapport with some of these new targets that he's got. He was in particular going to Austin a lot in a 2-minute drill. Despite the one flub there with Phillips, he and Phillips seem to be starting to gel together. Racey McMath really looked good today, getting behind defenders, caught 2 long passes, one for a touchdown, one on a contested ball, and then Traylon Burks, and here's part of the bad news, George. He made 2 really nice catches. And then on the second one, when he made a dive for the ball and caught it, he left the field and did not return. May have shaken up a little bit of a leg injury there. Don't know the seriousness of that just yet. But that's some of the highlights of what went on for the Titans offense as far as the first group goes. In terms of the second group, Malik Willis got a lot of reps with the second team offense. Logan Woodside got a few there with that second group. One of the things that Willis really is working on, and certainly it showed today in terms of what he's got to learn, he's got to get rid of the football quicker. He's got to be able to throw receivers open, especially in these 2-minute drills where time is of the essence and you've got to be able to make a play and give your receiver a chance to catch it rather than waiting too late and giving the defender the opportunity to close on it.
Terry, let's go back to the wide receiver thing. Burke's able to walk off the field under his own power?
He did walk off the field under his own power, but a trainer went inside to assist him. So I'd say more will be known. Vrabel was asked about it, and as usual, when it comes to injuries, he pretty much dodged the question. We'll see if Burke shows up out there tomorrow morning for practice, but I'd say just a guess, I'd say he's probably day-to-day.
Terry, let's go back to Malik Willis for a second. For those of us who were not out there, in these sessions, does Tampa show blitz? Do they threaten blitz? Do they blitz? What is it he's facing?
Well, it's interesting because I talked with him one-on-one a little bit about this right after practice, George. And what he said was that Tampa, when you're backed up, he said he noticed, and these are things he'd not seen before because he hadn't faced the Bucs defense. He said that he noticed real quickly that they played a lot of zone, and when you're on your own half of the field and you're not in plus territory. And he also noticed that they were doing a lot of blitzes after the clock stopped, with a timeout or somebody going out of bounds or an incompletion. So the rookie, he's learning, but it's a slow process, George, one that's got to get better day by day.
Terry, it's obvious that there was some poo-pooing going on early about where he was. There was a lot of he's nowhere near ready, and yet in Baltimore, his athleticism forces the ability to make some plays. Today, is he truly their number 2?
I think he's getting close to being number 2, and I never thought I would say that a couple of weeks ago, given, what all he had to learn. Now, he is far from a finished product, and certainly not somebody that the Titans want to ride with long term right now because he still has so much to learn. But the physical talent is there. The mind is there. It's just a matter of the repetitions needing to be there so that he can learn, and the game won't be so fast for him so that his head is spinning right now with every decision he thinks about.
Let me ask on the Tampa side, there is a lot of mystery surrounding Tom Brady. He's taken what is, I guess, essentially about a week to 10-day leave of absence. There were Tampa people there today, media-wise. What are they telling you?
Didn't really talk to them much about that. I'd hate to speculate on it without asking any of those guys firsthand. I'll try to find that out for you tomorrow, George, as to where or what Brady might be doing. My guess is it's probably some sort of family-related situation that he's taken care of. There was a time a couple of years ago that his mother had been in some bad health, so I don't know if that's it or not. But I think, it's just time that he had prearranged with the Bucs that he was not going to be available. And so they are going through these practices today, basically Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask as their quarterbacks.
What did you see out of Tampa? Anything stick out to you there?
Well, their defensive backs, like I said, I watched their defense most of the day until we got to the 2-minute when both teams came over in the same area. Their defensive backs were very aggressive early on, and then the Titans beat them a few times on some deep balls and won some jump ball situations. I noted Racing McMath and Traylon Burks there. So I think the Titans' first team offense, held its own, got the better of them. Teresa Walker was watching the Titans defense. She said that the Titans defense looked really good today against the Tampa offense, as you would expect, without Brady, without Mike Evans, that it was a really good day for the Tennessee defense. I think, we're not seeing the full Tampa roster without Brady, without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin and some others. So it's really hard to get a gauge on just how good the Bucks are, but I do think they're a very good ball club.
Watson, you're hearing all this. Anything you want to ask Terry?
How did the offensive line look in drills, and did they hang in there with the defensive front? That's still my biggest question mark to me, Terry, coming into the season.
Well, it seemed like they protected Tannehill fairly well. There were a couple of times that, they would have gotten to him for a sack. There was one in particular where Dylan Radins got pushed back into Tannehill, and both Radins and Tannehill ended up on the ground. Radins got all the first-team reps at right tackle, and so I would expect Petit Ferrer might get those tomorrow if this is a true competition. Now, at the left guard spot, Aaron Brewer, I'm declaring that competition over if there was any competition to begin with. Aaron Brewer's taken every first-team rep that the Titans have had at left guard. He's going to be the left guard, barring something catastrophic happening. In terms of the other guys on the line, Nate Davis went out after the first team period, so he was not there. So Jordan Roos was filling in for him. This offensive line still has some question marks, Watson, and they got opened up a couple of decent holes, but for the most part, there wasn't a lot of real great running plays today, but from the Titans offense. But I do think that this line is starting to get there. It's just a matter of they've got to determine who's going to be that right tackle sooner rather than later, so that all five of those guys can get gelled together and get on the same page.
Did they use Derek at all today? Did he get in any of the live work?
Spectator after individual work. Dontrell Hilliard was your starting running back. Hassan Haskins got a little bit of work. Trenton Cannon got a little bit of work before he was hurt and left the practice. And then Julius Chestnut was also another guy that got some work there, an undrafted rookie who in other years might have a legitimate shot for a roster spot, but is certainly facing an uphill battle with the likes of Hilliard and Haskins, a fourth-round pick, being there to have those spots behind Henry.
Yeah.
Terry,
George?
Great report. Appreciate the update on what's going on. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same place, and good luck to your team.
Thank you. They need it.
They do need it right now. Terry McCormick reporting live from his palatial estate. What's the name of the city, Watson, where he lives?
Dallas? Is it Dallas, Texas?
Terry? I don't think so.
Looks like the Hamptons.
I don't think so.
Lord.
Okay, so are we ready? By the way, I paid for my shirt today.
I don't believe that.
Believe it.
You bought it in when? 85?
It's part of the polo collection.
Part of the polo collection. Looks like one of your 85 models to me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's ignore him the rest of the show. What do you got in the update?
George, we didn't have time to get to
that's
Terry's
right. We got
sponsors.
readers.
Yeah, we got readers here, George.
Read on, my child.
First sponsor is the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. Call the Justin Tucker team at 615-906-8458. And also Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need. Now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Watson, I didn't think Terry appreciated my little joke about the 3 things in life that are certainties.
No, I think he's a little sensitive right now.
He's a little frosty.
And you're being what we know of George Plaster. When you're a front runner, your ego goes out of the building. So now that you've won 8 straight, you're back to thinking they go from a bunch of frauds to now we're winning our second World Series.
I have never called my team a fraud.
Oh, yes, you did last year.
No, I called
a bunch last year.
One or two.
When we were even trying to decide, are they even going to trade to get anybody for the trade deadline? Do you remember that, or let's just give up on this year and go to the next one? It's amazing how you forget those things.
Don't get so close to the camera, because when you do, we'll see it's a free shirt. Sent by Mac. I mean, it's got his name on it.
That's a nice Oakley shirt right there. George, we got to get to the update. We don't even have.
Who cares?
We don't even have time for the update.
You know what? We do.
Okay, we got to.
We do. Item 1, go.
Item 1, we go to the NBA. LeBron James has signed a 2-year extension with the Lakers, so he is staying in Lakerland.
2 years, $97 million. Watson, I don't know what that means about playing with Bronny. Does 2 years do that?
He has an option out in the second year, so that's happening.
Yeah.
He won't be there unless the Lakers take him. He will not be there after this year.
Item number 2.
Item number 2, George, we go to the NFL, and reportedly the NFLPA is in active talks with Deshaun Watson. They're conducting an active settlement negotiations in a disciplinary manner. So whether compromise will be reached before.
What the hell does that mean?
Who
In
knows?
a disciplinary manner.
Who knows? Goodell wanted to put that out there.
I mean, where does that word fit?
They're gonna discipline him.
Why? Yeah.
Over or under 10?
Over.
Over?
Yeah.
Really?
Let me say this. Here's how these
I don't know.
Here's how these negotiations are going. They walk in and they say 8. The NFL says no, thank you, and that's the end of the negotiations. They're not getting anywhere with this.
Nowhere.
Book it.
You can book it. You can also book Najee Harris. George.
Listen to this one.
I don't know if you heard about this, Watson, but it's
I read it.
He was in a podcast. I think it was earlier this week, and he apparently bumped heads with Nick Saban a few times. So he said all 4 years at Alabama, he bumped heads. He said, in quote, "I'm not the type of dude to sit back and just like let somebody just talk to me, I guess, in a way, and not expect me to say something. I can take coaching, but there's just a certain type of line when you cross it."
Well, you didn't quite get to the.
He said, "I'm a man,
juiciest of the juicy.
I'm a man. You ain't gonna effing talk to me like that, bro."
Ooh. So
there's a lot of other expletives.
There was also an M.
Yeah,
in one of those too. Old Najee.
I was surprised at.
Not on Nick's Christmas list.
No, I don't think he's getting the Saban Christmas card.
I think he did wait till he was way out of that place before he made it those statements.
Yeah. Hey, he was out of the state border.
Yes, he's way out. He's 6 states up, so he's okay.
No question.
Just don't cross the Alabama line anytime soon.
What else?
George, we move on to baseball. We talked about the Rangers firing their head coach. Their president is now out. John Daniels, president of baseball operations, after 2 World Series appearances during his 17 years, he's gone.
The only person that is not tradable or releasable with the Rangers right now is Hall of Famer Chuck Morgan. They don't dare touch him.
They should.
By the way, if you're wondering, the voice at the beginning of the show that says, "Now here's George," that's Chuck Morgan.
That voice from God.
He is, man, he's got a voice.
George, we
Watson, he's a true Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so are you. There's certain things I'll take shots at.
But not that one.
I'm not going there with that one. No, that one's a little personal. I'm not going there.
I think it was a bad year, though. It may have been an easier year than most to get in. Okay, what else?
We stay in baseball. Joey Votto is done for the season, and George, you got to believe this is his 16th season with the Reds. That might do it.
You know, I feel bad for Joey Votto. First of all, I feel bad for Reds fans. I'm wearing your shirt today. I paid for it. But seriously, that's a great franchise. Those are great fans. Watson, they deserve better than the hand that they have been dealt. Joey Votto by now should have said, "Get me out of here." Before I ended, I want to be on a title contender. And I give him really high marks for not doing that.
No, and you paid for that shirt. I would say when you bought it, it probably cost $5.95. Would be.
Votto was a rookie.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
Votto,
he was at AAA ball at that.
He was in the minors.
But is it Major League Baseball's fault that these franchises like Oakland and the Reds and the ones we kind of grew up watching dominate, George, is it baseball's fault or is it these franchises' fault?
Well, in Oakland's case, they play in a toilet. Cincinnati has a nice park, but their ownership has been unwilling to do the things, in my opinion, that it takes to win. They trade Sonny Gray before the season started. They traded Eugenio Suarez to Seattle. They trade Jesse Winker. I mean, what do they expect? They have nobody going to their games. It's sad.
It's sad because that place, you couldn't get in it. Old Riverfront, you couldn't get in.
Oh, gosh. In the old days,
you couldn't get in there.
Machine.
Yeah. Best team we've ever seen in my lifetime. Okay.
George, we got one more thing here.
Let's get it.
Tennessee is in the Little League World Series, back in the Little League World Series. The team from Nolensville, a lot of mid-state connections there. They're in a weather delay right now, but last we checked, they're up 5-3 over, who are they playing? Massachusetts.
And if they win, they play Utah.
Yes, if they win, they'll play Utah on Friday, so we'll keep track of that.
Yeah, good luck to them. They have, man, over the last 5-10 years, they have killed it. They have done so well. And
it's been them or Goodlettsville, George, for a long time in Tennessee. It's those two Little League programs have just been fantastic, represented the state really well through the years.
After the break, we start what will be a very good show. It'll be a heck of an improvement over the update. We'll be joined in a moment by Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee. Then later in the hour, Watson will give you sort of his formula of what he wants to see for an improved Vandy in 2022 at 5 o'clock. Really looking forward to this. Lexington sports talk show host Dick Gabriel, a good friend of mine, will join us to talk about the heavyweight title fight between John Calipari and a football coach named Mark Stoops. Stuff continues to fly in the Commonwealth. Stick around. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
Well, as most of you know, Vanderbilt will be the first SEC team to hit the regular season football field. They are 10 days away from their opener in Hawaii. And earlier today, our Billy Derrick, that's you, caught up with Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee. Here is that interview.
Year two here with Vanderbilt football, of course, year two for you and the players and all the other coaches as well. What have been some of the main differences for you as a coach, but also kind of recognizing some maturity and some growth from your players in the program?
Well, I think one of the big improvements is just the depth of relationship formed. There's a higher level of understanding and awareness of expectations now, so we're just doing less of having to explain ourselves and more just attacking what's in front of us. Obviously for every member of this program, they've either been recruited into the program that exists or they've chosen to return. And that doesn't mean that we're perfect, but we have far better alignment in year two. And, both of those things lend themselves to maturity and advancement. Doesn't guarantee anything, but we feel like we've made good steps, and we're fielding a faster team, a bigger team, a stronger team. But we're still going to have to go out there and fight for the results we want.
Coach, at SEC Media Days in Atlanta, you made the statement of, in time, Vanderbilt football will become the best program in the country. Obviously there was a lot of reaction to that, but in your mind, you've said that you believe that, and the players believe it, the staff believes it, everybody believes that can happen. So where did that come from? And is that down the road? That's what you want to become?
Well, I said it because I believe it. I didn't say it for attention. I knew that some people wouldn't know how to take that, but for me, like if you cut me open and I bled out, I would bleed that out. And I don't believe in being a part of anything that's not aspiring to be the best, the standard, the level best. That's just kind of who I am, and I think people that don't understand what I said, they just don't know me very well as a person. I don't want people in this program that don't also share that belief. That's important. So we want to draw clear lines when it comes to that. We're not here to shoot for moral victories. We're not here to shoot for bowl bursts. We want to build a program that's sustaining success at a high level and playing for championships. And we know that takes time, but progress is incremental, and we're working to take those steps every day to ensure that we over time will build that program. It starts with the people that are in the program. It starts with the staff that's around the players every day. It starts with the way we design our structures and our strategies to make sure that we're giving our team a great chance to do it. And over time, we'll compound positive behaviors and positive actions, and we believe that we'll have a program that's a force.
Coach, let's go to the quarterback position. Mike Wright, obviously a lot of energy, shows a lot of emotion, and you named him the starting quarterback in Atlanta at that time. Now, of course, there's still maybe some future announcements to be made, but what have you seen from him and his growth at this point in his career, heading in, of course, to week 0?
Well, he's established himself as a playmaker. I thought he did that last season when he had the opportunity with the ball in his hand. He was dynamic, and he can change the game running. I think that we've seen him grow into a more complete quarterback. It's important because, we've got, 10 other guys on the field that he needs to strengthen in his performance. We got a receiver group that's coming on, and we feel like has a chance to have some playmakers in that unit as well. And so Mike's responsible for distributing the ball around to making sure he's making the right reads. I've seen growth and maturity in that respect. I also have seen growth and maturity as a leader in his leadership, which has been exciting, which is obviously important. But I got to also say that Ken Seals has answered the bell, and AJ Swan keeps coming on as a freshman, and so we're gonna obviously go into Hawaii with an airtight plan, and we feel like Mike gives us a great chance at the start of the season. But we're also working through the process of making sure there's sustained competition in that room, and that whoever is out there taking the snaps has to earn it every single day.
Coach, I was talking to Mike Scholl, your SID, during practice. I said, what a fun way to start the season, almost like a bowl trip at Hawaii. You guys will leave on Sunday. So obviously a long trip. I heard it was a 9-hour flight ahead of you guys. But what are you excited about for that trip? But also, what are some of the challenges that go along with that?
Well, I'm excited to be heading into game week. I prefer to go to Hawaii on vacation. This is going to be more stressful than fun for me, but that's the nature of my job. I do think that it'll provide us an opportunity to bond as a team, to get out of town and to do something that where we have the chance to spend time away from football and immersed in a different culture and a different environment. And I'm looking forward to that. But I think when you start talking about the outcome of the game, I think the trip is the first opponent. We have to handle the trip out there very well. We have to handle the distractions that we'll be immersed in. And we're a young team, and so we need to show a level of maturity here, because if we don't, then it's going to come back to haunt us when we tee it up to play. I believe that we can, but we need to make belief a practice and show the behaviors and actions that a mature team, a team that's on a business trip to win, would demonstrate.
Coach, you talked about the goals for Hawaii here in week 0 coming up, but what are the goals overall for your team this season? Obviously, it's year 2. There's things you guys want to accomplish, but what are some realistic goals that you guys feel like you can accomplish here ahead of the season?
Well, we've kind of stated one goal, and we talk about it every day, and that's just like to find our highest level as a team. And part of that is the idea that too often in our past, Vanderbilt football has defeated Vanderbilt football. We have to make sure that we're channeled into our systems, that we have fundamental technical expertise, that we've mastered our structures and schemes and strategies, so that all our energy is focused on measuring our preparation against our opponent. If we can do that, we think we're capable of some great results along the way. If we can't, then we'll be inconsistent, and a young team that's inconsistent is going to have a tough road. And so I think our margins are razor thin here. I think we have to go out and grab every advantage we can. But also I'm excited about the way the team's come together through camp, playmakers that have emerged. I'm excited the confidence that we're moving around with, and we have to make sure we stay true and committed to that journey and that process to hopefully get to that point where we're playing at the highest level as a team.
Coach, real quick here before I let you go, the new pictures of the new turf field were released. I don't have the midfield logo yet, so waiting on that. But does that kind of signify a little bit of what's in the future and kind of the new things to come at Vanderbilt Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I think anything we can do to just polish up and to show how important the small details are to us here, whether that's getting the new logo out, whether that's getting the new logo around our practice facility, whether that's getting a fresh turf in and something that's going to hopefully glow on game day and again represent a first-class program at a first-class university. So I celebrate the smallest of changes, because over time they compound to make a big difference and to drive this program to the top.
11 days away from Vanderbilt in Hawaii. That'll be a 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff on Saturday. 2 weeks away, shorter than 2 weeks away. Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Great to be with you.
Okay, Watson. First of all, I'm glad about the turf. Last year, it looked like it was turning black, and that's not a good look on television. And given the fact that all of their games through the SEC network or all the other packages are out there, I think that's a very important look for people to see when they're playing a home game.
I did an interview for ESPN, George. I think it was last summer. Last early spring, late winter for ESPN, and we did it all on the turf. And whenever it was awful. I mean, they had to change the turf. It was old looking, and it was very flat, hard. It needed a new surface on it. So that's a good move right there. That a better look and keep your players healthier.
Amen. We'll go to the break, and when we come back, we'll have Watson's breakdown of things he wants to see in year 2 that are better than in year 1 for Clark Lee. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
In a moment, we're going to take a look at Watson's checklist for Clark Lee's second year at Vandy. Let me make this really clear. Clark Lee got dealt a hand you would not wish on your worst enemy. and that is Derek Mason's fault. I had a suspicion for a while, and I had said it on radio, that I thought as Mason's tenure was ending, that it was a disaster. That said, nobody could have seen that it was as bad as it truly turned out to be. I've heard people call it an OVC squad. Had a friend of mine who said, George, that was no better than a mid-level OVC team that Clark inherited. Whatever the case, may not matter as we move to year 2. But Watson, let's take a look at your checklist, and let's start with number 1, which is on the surface an obvious, want them to be more competitive. Tell me what you really mean by that.
Well, I just think when you watch them play and you're against an SEC opponent, well, I mean, even Elon, because we lost to East Tennessee last year in the opening game of the season. And I just think seeing a more competitive football team, confidence-wise and physicality-wise, that we're hanging in there and the game's not out of reach quickly. We had a lot of games last year that we were just dominated, and there wasn't anything Clark could do about that. And I just want to see them more competitive this year. The wins will take care of themselves. I have no clue how many they're going to win, if they go up quite a bit or they don't. But we can tell quickly in a ball game and watch it all the way through to see the competitiveness of the football team. And I think they will be more competitive because I think he has recruited very well. I think George probably as good as he could have up to this point with what he has. And I think he's gotten his building the way he wants it. What I mean by that is everybody likes to use the word culture, but just everything in the building, your strength and conditioning area, your academic area, the discipline within the team itself, the attitude in the locker room, the training room area, the places that you want to feel this is what I want in here. I think he's gotten that done. So he's done 2 things, I think, in 1 year pretty well. Got his building right, and he's bringing in a better competitive football player.
I don't have a clue how he would have gotten a top 35 class. Apparently he did. And Watson, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you bring a kid in on game day, if it's an SEC opponent, and have them look at a stadium that's 80 to 90% the other team. I mean, I give them that picture. They would wish that Vanderbilt Stadium would look like that. But Watson, how do you recruit around that?
Well, what you do at Vanderbilt is totally different than what I did at Cincinnati. Or what I did at UAB when we just started. For there, every job is different, George. Vanderbilt, to me, you recruit to the school. You go find kids that are looking for what Vanderbilt has academically, socially, whatever. And I think that's what he's done a good job. He's found kids that are interested in what Vanderbilt has, and then that are good players. And then you're going to beat other top schools, maybe that have a better facility or whatever, if that's what this kid is really looking for. Now, the key is going to find that. I said to Clark earlier, I said, you need more eyeballs in recruiting. You need many more bodies, as many as you can have within recruiting. I walked in that building, and like I said, when I went back to do that interview with ESPN, my gracious, I thought there were at least 20 people sitting in the recruiting room that weren't coaches. So I think he's done a good job of getting a lot of people hunting players for him. And then when they find that guy, George, they have an advantage now on recruiting that kid over somebody that doesn't have those type things.
Okay, let's go with item number 2. And I think Watson's hit on something, because a year ago, max they were going to score for the most part in the SEC was around 17. When they got into Southeastern Conference competition, and the way the game's played now, Watson, that's not going to get it done.
George, this has got to be the biggest improvement to me for them to really get more competitive and to win more games. They can't, I think they averaged 15 point something a game last year. You have to double that. It has to be 30, in my opinion, but to win an SEC football game or a team that might be as good or not better than you that you're going to play. Maybe it's like Wake Forest. You're not going to beat Wake, who's a good offensive football team, with their quarterback or not. Wake Forest will score points, and you've got to match that. And they've got to become a much better offensive football team. I think that's number one. If they keep scoring in the teens, you're just not going to be good enough to hold these SEC teams to that, George. It's just you can't do it. And so you've got to improve your offense and your point total of your offense.
If he's healthy, are you convinced it's Mike Wright the whole way, game one to the end?
I haven't seen enough to say that. I think I know why they went with him, in my opinion. His athleticism, his chance to make plays with his feet are so important right now as they keep getting better players coming in. That would be my bet. I just haven't seen him enough to say, but you don't score points in the SEC without a quarterback. I'm telling you right now. And so Vanderbilt has got, as they do this, settle on a guy, and he's got to be a good player. They need a face right now that is their leader and making plays. And the community gets excited about this kid as their quarterback, whoever it is. I don't care who it is, but they have got to hit on a really good quarterback that can be the face of the program for the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay, item number 3 is create more turnovers. And Watson, I know where you're going with this. When you're not the equal of who you're playing, you need a few breaks. You need to out turnover. You need to get 3 and the other team get 1. That's where you're going there.
It's like when I talked to Coach New yesterday, I brought up the fact that the way you stop these high-powered offenses is some way in the drive, you've got to create a down and distance that is not run or pass. You've got to get it. It's a passing down. It's 3rd and long, and you've got to get that. If you don't create that, it's hard to even create turnovers. So I think it's not going to be yards, how many yards they give up this year, George. It's going to be how many times can they get the ball back to their offense. And I think they're going to give up yards. The offenses in the SEC are way too good. But can you stop and can you hold them to a field goal? Can you get the turnover and give it back? And your offense all of a sudden at the end of the day gets 4 more shots that it wasn't going to get without those turnovers. That's what I would be trying to do. How can we create a down and distance situation to get them to where it's not just run or pass, and then can we turn it over? Can we rush the passer? Can we hit him in the back? Can we tip a pass that we know it's coming because it's 3rd and 18 now or whatever? That's what I think we got to see the defense be better at.
Okay, the 4th one seems obvious, but to me, there's some questions that you have to ask about athleticism. Okay, they bring in a freshman class that is ranked in the top 35 in the country. And whether I know how they made that happen or not, people that know a lot more than I do believe that's what they are. Watson, are you redshirting them all? Are you saying, oh, no, we can't have another year like last season, so we're going to play them right off the bat? Give me the pros and cons of that decision.
There's just pros to me. I play them if they're good enough. The con is if you put him out there and he's not good enough, he's going to lose confidence himself, and you're setting him back. If they've got kids good enough to play in the SEC and hold their own, I put them out there and let them grow. Redshirt isn't what it used to be, George, because of the transfer portal. The way people go in and out of programs now, it is really hard to keep them around 5 and 6 years. I mean, or they leave early to go to the NFL or whatever. I think if you're good enough in today's world, you play. And that wasn't the way I did it in my early years. I wanted to redshirt people the best I could and have them. My last job, it won a championship by doing it that way. We had a bunch of juniors and seniors that were 4 and 5 year guys. But the game has changed. I think if Vanderbilt's got an athlete good enough to play, you put him out there and let him go and let him get better by playing. And then maybe by mid-year, he's a whole lot better player. So I don't think you'll see him redshirt him just to redshirt him. I bet you if they redshirt a kid, he's not ready to play yet.
Yeah. Watson, are you buying what I'm thinking here? We're going to know exactly what's what between August 27th when they open against Hawaii and September the 17th. And I think I'm right about this, that they end up going to Northern Illinois, because in that stretch, Hawaii, very winnable. Elon, you damn well better win. Wake Forest, on paper, not a great shot, but if Hartman isn't around, you at least have a puncher's chance. And then Northern Illinois.
That changes that dynamic of that game big time. I mean,
and then Northern Illinois, who you better beat.
Well, yeah. And so to me, I think they can come out of this 3-1 at the worst. And if you're 2-0 playing Wake Forest, you might go and win that one and could go 4-0 through this. But we just don't know how good they are. I mean, I think he's brought in better players. Everybody that's watched them practice, I haven't yet, says the talent level is better, but it's young talent. And athleticism is right, George, but you got to keep doing it. It can't be one class. He needs 4 of these.
Yeah.
And he's got to keep doing this. I can remember being in that 35th ranked in my last 2 years. I had 2 back-to-back really good classes back in the 80s when I was there. Lord, that's a different life ago. But when I was there, but yet I remember looking at all the sheets, and every team in the SEC was still above me in recruiting. I mean, they were all in the 20s or the teens or in the top 5 or whatever. So you can't do it with one class. He's done a great job, but he's got to do it every year. He's got to keep bringing these kind of classes in and then develop them even better than maybe some of the other SEC schools are developing them. Make them better
like
players.
Trying to pay off your house note, and all you're doing is covering the interest.
That's a good analogy, George.
It has that feeling.
And you want to pay that house note off sometimes.
Oh, my God.
Because that interest ain't going to keep you around. I can tell you
got
that
right.
now. It will not keep you around.
Okay, let's do this. We're going to go to the break, and when we come back, it's Stat of the Day, where we have kept our head above water. Frankly, we need better questions. Yeah. This is Main Street Media Television. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelly Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really appreciate this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. We've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. Boom! We're back. Stat of the day. God, that thing yesterday was hideous. But today is a new day.
New day indeed, George. It's time for Stat of the Day, presented by John English Vintage Sports and Cards and Rock Castle Wealth Advisors. John English specializes in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit them in Shelbyville, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 o'clock, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit them online at johnenglishgradedcards.com. The other sponsor, Rock Castle Wealth Advisors. You can call Eric Berner at 615-490-7052 or visit them online at rockcastlewealth.com.
These are two good friends of mine, and I hope that people will pay attention, and we go from there.
We go from there, George. We go to the question. We go to the NBA. Maybe a little bit of a long-winded question, but who are the top 5 NBA scorers of all time, and can you name them in order from 1 to 5? A little bit of a bonus challenge there.
Whatever. Okay, Watson, let's just you and I think this one through out loud. Kareem's got to be in there, doesn't he?
Kareem would be in there. Probably Wilt Chamberlain would be in there.
Okay, are we going LeBron in that top 5?
I would put LeBron in there.
7 now. Michael, because he played to such an extended age, wouldn't we have him in there?
He is in there. Kareem and Michael.
Hold on. We're not asking you yet.
Yes. I think what
now
about
that he
Malone?
said it, yeah.
I think Malone would be in it.
I like that. Okay, let's present a unified front here, Watson. You ready?
Okay, go for it.
This will be good. Dick Gabriel's listening to this in the background going, what the hell are they doing? Let's go with Kareem.
You can check that one off the list. He is number 1.
Okay. Let's say LeBron.
He is number 2.
I like it. Watson, we're cooking with gas.
Yep. I think we've already named all 5, I think. We'll see.
Michael.
He's number 5. So you got him.
Really?
Michael, Kobe, and Malone would be mine.
Watson just said Malone. Karl Malone is number 3.
Oh, we are 80% of the way home. We are cooking with gas.
So
okay.
Y'all are missing number 4.
Okay, just hold on. Hold on a second.
Kobe Bryant.
Whoa, wait a minute. What happened to Wilt?
I don't think
You put it out there.
Yeah.
Wilt.
I just don't know that they scored the points they do now, George. And when I thought back, none of these guys were back in that time.
Now,
none of them.
Remember this. Wilt had a all-time record 50 per game back one of the years in the 60s.
Yeah, but that's not career now.
Okay, fine. Let's go Kobe.
Watson is right, and you've got all 5 correct. How about that?
We're getting pretty good.
We are cooking with gas, baby.
Ooh, I'm impressed.
I just got to thinking, George, they're scoring 60 and 70 points a game back in those days. It's a different world then with the Celtics and all of that.
So Wilt's not there.
No Wilt.
I would have thought Larry Bird might have been up there pretty close too. How close was Larry?
Well, the problem was the back injury, and he retired way too early for that.
Yeah.
Karl Malone, the mailman delivered. Okay, we have reached the 5 o'clock hour, and Billy gets to do more reading.
Yes, I do get to do more reading, George, if I can get it out. The 5 o'clock hour is powered by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere. Whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or a major joint replacement, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. You can visit them online at mtbj.net for more information.
Okay, we head up to Lexington, Kentucky. One of my favorite people to talk sports with is this guy from WLAP Radio, longtime part of the University of Kentucky Radio Network. Dick Gabriel, is that a Hawaiian shirt?
You like that? I put that on just for you.
Very nice. So did you hear the question?
I did, and I maybe knew 3 of them, but you guys are good, man. Coach, you're good.
No, not really.
Hey,
you don't want to know our percentages, Dick.
Dick, they threw one at us yesterday. Billy, give him that one for a second.
Which one was that?
The stupid brothers thing.
What NHL brother duo has combined for the most career points?
Well, you guys are in a hockey town.
Okay, but when you
I
hear
don't live
the
in a
answer,
hockey town. We've had minor league hockey, but none currently.
Okay, did you even know Wayne Gretzky had a brother that played?
I did not.
I didn't either.
That in itself is great trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have.
You need me to turn that light off over my shoulder? Is that bothering you guys?
Sure, if you can.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Okay. This is good. This is live television.
George giving technical advice over here. How about that?
Talk about the blind leading the blind. Hold on. That is pretty funny. When we get Dick back in here.
This is my garage studio. This is where I do my radio show now.
Really? Billy suggested that my giving you technical advice may be the blind leading the blind.
Hey, as long as it works, man. I mean, check it out. Here's my car. I can show you the washing machine, but since COVID, this is where I've been doing my show.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
So you've arrived you were in Saratoga.
Yes.
I almost said Sarasota when all of this blew up.
Oh,
so once you got back to town, what has the reaction been like in Lexington to this little spat that's going on?
This little kerfluffle. It's interesting, guys, because it's really driven a wedge between the fan bases. It's forced fans to kind of take a side. You've got people on social media supporting Stoops, people on social media saying that Calipari's right. It's really uncomfortable. And, we've talked among ourselves in the media business. Is this old news now? But I think, George, this isn't going to go away for a while. The two coaches still haven't talked, but there's been a little bit of fallout with, Mitch Barnhart's comments. He had his press conference alongside Stoops on Saturday. So I think until both coaches say we're good, that this is going to, I don't think it'll be at the top of the list of talking points, but it'll be up there.
Oh, it's good stuff, though. I mean, it makes for some spice.
Yeah.
So, am I right that Calipari has attempted to call and gotten blown off by Stoops?
All I know is that Calipari has tried to call him and has not gotten through to Stoops. If that Stoops blowing him off, if that Stoops making him sweat, who knows? But you would think that in weeks gone by prior to this, Mark Stoops would have been available for Calipari's phone call. Personally speaking, and I said this on my show, Calipari needs to go over from the north side of campus to the south side of campus and meet with him face-to-face. Make an appointment if you have to, but do it in person. This is not something, George, I don't think, and Coach, you can speak to this, that can be really, really settled over the phone. I think this has got to be man-to-man.
Yeah, Watson, jump in there.
I 100% agree. And I don't know if he's back in town. If he is, I would have done it as soon as the plane landed. It was a bad decision, honestly, a real bad decision. I don't know why John did that. That's not like him to me. I don't understand it. You put that out there, man, you're just opening up the floodgates. And I would apologize to Coach Stoops immediately for it and get out of that and just say I was frustrated. I need this facility built, blah, 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 blah. It's not the way I feel. And I think Coach Stoops, honestly, since he's been there, has handled this very well. I think he's done a good job. He's been supportive of basketball. He's never took that on in any way. But then when it's put in your face, what are you going to say?
Exactly.
You can't just turn it down and not talk about it. And so in some ways, I think it's made it more competitive for him, and he can use that. I promise you his players have gotten more ribbed up over hearing that. But it was just a bad deal by John, and I would get out of it fast and just say that's one of the stupidest things I've ever said or done, and that's not what I believe.
Coach, it's interesting you say that because people have been wondering now with Kentucky for so long, and you know this, you've been there, being able to, as a longtime have-not in the SEC, to keep that chip on their shoulder and use that as motivation. Well, now, you've got people singing their praises, picking them second to finish in the East. Can they challenge Georgia for a spot in Atlanta? This is all new territory for Kentucky. So now we're going to see how well these guys can handle prosperity. That's something that's new to this program for quite some time. Not even Frank Kersey's teams really had to deal with that back in the 70s. But this is the chip, or at least a chip they've been looking for now. And here's the thing, and I don't know how things went for you at Vandy, but they've been able to use basketball as a recruiting tool, taking recruits to basketball games at Rupp Arena has always been a big plus. We've seen them there. They're not too far from the press box, the recruits. So they do need that. But there's the story about when Alabama was in town, the last time it came in, and they were recruiting a high school kid from Kentucky. One of the Alabama assistant coaches saw him down on the field during warmups, and the Alabama assistant motioned to the stands, and it was way early, like the stands weren't full. They wouldn't have been full anywhere. But he motions to the stands, and then he goes like this, like a jump shot, like reminding the kid, hey, they're all about basketball here. So, they sure didn't need that.
So, go ahead.
Well, I just follow up with that and let you have it back, George. When I was at Vanderbilt, I used it big time. I went to Coach Newton with some of my best players always. And man, I couldn't wait to get them to a Memorial Gym basketball game when that place was wild.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't wait to get the prospects in there. And I can go back to 67, '68, Dick, when they took me into Memorial Gym while I was being recruited and hadn't made up my mind yet out of high school. And they walked me on this red carpet out into the middle of the floor of Memorial Gym.
Do that.
And introduced me as the next whatever it's going to be. And I'm going to tell you, that had a big piece in putting me over the hump, because I was going to Alabama at that point. So if they're not using Kentucky basketball, they're crazy.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore, but they're definitely using it. Yeah.
So, Dick, we saw your background. I want you to know exactly what we have here. Can you see all this stuff?
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, a lot of it out of my rec room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked up earlier today your bio. And they make it sound like you were covering Kentucky before Adolph Rupp. They put this thing about has been covering the team for 6 decades. Wow.
I'm in my 6th decade. That's my first game, George, I covered in 1974.
Oh, wow.
You were just a pup.
No.
Yeah. And believe it or not, you talked about CM Newton, Coach. I was a freshman at the school paper, and I kept bugging the crap out of the sports editor. I was covering soccer and rugby. And I said, I want to cover a basketball game. Well, that was the year Joe Hall's team went 13-13, and he was tired of covering the team. They stunk. So he threw me the press pass we had. He said, go cover the game tonight. Well, they're playing Alabama, one of CM's good teams.
Oh, yeah.
74. You know who was on, Alabama.
Leon Douglas.
Yep. Alabama handed Kentucky the worst loss in Memorial Coliseum history that night, and I got to cover it.
So, of all these good teams, it sounds like Calipari, based on this Bahamas trip, has loaded up one of his best since he's been there.
Yeah, it really looks like they're really long and really athletic, and you can apply whatever meaning you want for that. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen when they play a team that's physical, but I suspect they'll be able to handle that as well. What they needed, they got in that Jacob Toppin played like a guy with more purpose. It looked like prior to this, he was having fun. Now he's playing with purpose because he put himself out there to the NBA. They turned him back to college and said, here's what you need to work on. And that's apparently what he's been doing. But the other thing, George, is the freshmen are just men. They're not kids trying to find their way. They're really impressive. The transfers they got, the kid from Iowa, Frederick, who was hurt all of last year, he'll be a big help from the outside. But Antonio Reeves, the kid from Illinois State, is really going to be a help. He's explosive. He can shoot. He can score, beyond just outside shooting. So they've got a lot of different ways they can beat you. And that's what it looks like right now. Let's see what happens in October.
Sure. Watson, I'm going to leave the football to you, and you take as long as you want, because I knew if Dick Gabriel is on the line, this will be fun.
Dick, how good can they be? I think their quarterback got so much better at the end of the year. And I said to George earlier in the week, I think he may be the one that really sticks out this year, that he's really going to take another leap and be a great player. How good can this Kentucky team be?
All depends on the O-line, and that's where everything starts. Of course, that dictates how many points you'll score, but it also dictates how much time your defense spends on the field. If they can keep him upright and keep his jersey clean, you're right. He's got a big chance, because while they lose Wan'Dale Robinson, who was one of the most dynamic players in the history of that school, and that's just 1 year, they've got a room that's better now. The wide receiver room is better, still untested except for the kid who transferred in from Virginia Tech, Tavion Robinson. And he's good, but he's no Wan'Dale. But they've also got a room, maybe the most talented tight end room they've ever had. And that's vital, because now with Rich Scangarello's offense coming from San Francisco, what they like to do with tight ends in the NFL, especially San Francisco. And Watson, they're using a fullback. How about that? Guys, they're not calling them H-backs, or they're not moving tight end. They're calling them fullbacks. So now their teams have to prepare for that. and they've got talented kids there. So I'm really anxious to see what they can do on offense with 3 new starters. They've got a center who was playing, I think it was tackle last year before he hurt himself, was a midseason All-American. So now they've moved him to center, and he's got a chance to be really special. That said, this whole team's got a chance to be special. Biggest question mark right now, no Chris Rodriguez. And they're not telling us much of anything about a timetable, why he's sidelined. I firmly believe it's more than the offseason DUI. But right now they're saying nothing.
Oh, and that is a big piece. But something I thought Coach Stoops did that was impressive, Dick, is Coach Saban, when he ran into Clemson and got beaten for the national championship, and so he said, I've got to change my offense. I'm trying to beat everybody with defense, and I've got to change my offense. And he went at all pro guys. Lane Kiffin was in the pros, and then the different pro guys since then, all the way up to O'Brien now. And I think he's telling these recruits, you are going to be more prepared than anywhere in the SEC right now offensively, if you're an offensive player, if you come here, because we're running what you're going to have to run when you get to the NFL. I'm not sure Coach Stoops didn't go out and do the exact same thought process. And I think that's very smart if that's what he did.
I fully agree. And look, he did that on defense. He went out and got Brad White to be his D coordinator from the Indianapolis Colts. He lost an assistant coach to the Chiefs. They win a Super Bowl. He lost an OC to the Rams. They win a Super Bowl. How's that stack up in recruiting? You're absolutely right about that. And, when an assistant coach can drop names of guys he worked with in the NFL, not just on the recruiting trail, but in their respective rooms on the practice field, Coach, that goes a long way. And when you've got a coach who has been where these kids want to be, that's huge. They've got a D-line coach who's doing a terrific job, played at Kentucky, then had a long, successful career in the Canadian League. So anymore, with the NFL being America's sport, America's favorite pastime, I think that's huge. I think you're absolutely right.
Well, and it's going to be interesting because Tennessee, who now have beaten, goes a complete different route and goes with the wide open college look completely offensively. And it's going to be interesting to see which one comes out on top, which route works the best. And I just think that Kentucky-Tennessee rivalry now is there to stay. I think they're going to get after each other every year, and it's going to grow even stronger if that's possible. It's going to grow even stronger. It used to be a one-sided way with Tennessee, and it's not anymore. And I can't wait to watch that rivalry keep growing.
I agree. You're absolutely right. It's not a rivalry if one side keeps winning. It's just a domination. You got Kentucky fans who, and I think they're right, they believe they should have won last year. Kentucky went into Knoxville and won, which was unheard of since, 1984. So, you're right about that. And you're right about style of play. Here's the other thing, Coach, that we need to mention. We talk about the NFL offense, and, of course, they keep changing the rules to make it more television-friendly and more palatable to fans. And Kentucky's running an NFL offense. But Mark Stoops will always tell you, we've got to be balanced. We got to be able to run the football. And they've been able to do that over the last several years with JoJo Kemp, with Benny Snell, now with Chris Rodriguez. They've got other talented running backs. The difference is going to be, Watson, I want to see just how much they incorporate running backs into the passing game the way the Niners did. Keep this in mind. The first play of the spring game was a check down to Chris Rodriguez. And Levis told us this going into the game. One of the things he's going to be working on is not breaking the pocket and taking off, but checking down and throwing to running backs. And now that they're working more on that, I think that's going to be a real viable and vital part of this offense.
Well, and last thing, George, I'd say, Dick, that check down is so critical in also being taught to do it on time.
Absolutely.
When you check it down too late, you get the guy killed, or when you don't check it down at all. So that is such, you watch the NFL, that's how they keep those quarterbacks healthy, man. They look quick for what they're looking for, then they check that thing down to the back.
And the other thing too is Scangarello has told Levis, I don't want to see you running the football as much as he did last year. And Levis, he jumped over defensive backs. He scored 4 touchdowns against Louisville. He put his shoulder into linebackers. We're not going to see nearly as much. And to his credit, and he's matured, he said, I realize one of the things I can bring to this team is availability. He's got to stay healthy. But he said, I'm going to go with my instincts. And we know what that means.
Yeah.
Hey, 2 things before we get out of here. I've always thought Kentucky's fan base is really good. You've seen it more in basketball. How many season tickets have they sold in football?
I think they're sold out, George. I think they're up over 40,000.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah, and here's the amazing thing, and you guys know this, Coach. You've coached in the stadium here. Looked a little bit different. George, you covered games here.
Sure.
Kentucky fans for years have thrown good money after bad, watching bad football, mediocre football, some good football. And I've always said Kentucky fans cannot wait to love football. And I think they're getting there now. You've still got a few who are going, I'm not quite sure. But I think if they put together another special season this year, they're going to win them over.
Hey, you are so good to do this. First of all, thank you for taking the time. When will you get to the 7th decade?
Well, at the end of this decade. And again, not 60 years, but 6 different parts of 6 decades. So, it's all in how you add it up.
Adolph Rupp just called. He asked me to say hello to you. Dick,
I'm amazed he knows how to use a cell phone.
Thank you. Hey, thank you for doing this.
My pleasure, fellas. Good talking to you.
He is a good one. I have had a lot of fun with him over the years. Dick Gabriel, WLAP in Lexington, but also for years part of the University of Kentucky Radio Network. Watson, let's come back and talk a little bit about what it is we got into. Fair enough?
Yes, do.
Stick around. Big Blue Commonwealth Talk. This is Main Street Media Television.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride, visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah, there will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Oh, this might be fun. Watson, put on your athletic director hat. You ready?
Let's go.
So you're Mitch Barnhart. What are you doing right now?
I'm ticked as I can be, is what I am. At John Calipari.
Okay.
This is all on him. He started this. He needs to finish it. It's so out of character to me. For John, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's always thinking about how he's going to set this up or that up. I don't know, George, is just frustration set in because they've not been as successful recently in the last 6-7 years, and frustration hit him to come out and say that. But if I'm the AD, that just sends me over the top.
Stop there. I think there's a combination of a couple of things. Number one, losing in the opening round of the NCAA tournament to a school nobody had ever heard of, but turned out to be pretty darn good in St. Peter's. So that started their fan base with a lot of grumbling, and there's no fan base that second guesses more in hoops than that group in the Commonwealth. And so he's caught a lot of crap there, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Here's the second thing.
Okay.
As they were, you see Rupp Arena, and it's awesome. First game I ever saw there, I was in college, and a C.M. Newton, Alabama team beat the snot out of them in 80. Little did I know what the future was going to hold, and that Coach Newton would become somebody I would get so close to. But anyway, enough of that. They have a practice facility called the Kraft Center. I think I've got this right. And before they went to the Bahamas, apparently there was a roof leak that stopped a practice. And my guess is that he went off about it. And when he got the opportunity, maybe not thinking because he was in the Bahamas, when he unloaded what was a 12-minute tirade about how the program needs a practice facility, it needs a museum, it needs all this stuff. I don't know that he ever dreamed it would cause this kind of a commotion.
Nothing wrong with saying that. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about saying this is a basketball school. It's not a football school. First of all, when you've got a program like the University of Kentucky, that's a put down to your own university to say that. To me, you don't have to say that. You've got maybe the best historically the best basketball program ever.
No
you
question.
Don't have to go out and say those things. It's there.
Right.
You've got it. And so to bring it up and to say we're not a football school, that's putting your own image down, in my personal opinion. And so I think frustration had to have set in. And if I'm the AD, I go off. I call him immediately. If I'm not with him already, I'm up there with him. I don't know, but that he's got to fix that on the spot. If anything, I would have said Mitch should have nipped this in the bud long before now.
Okay, but Watson, let me ask you this though: is there not a setting where Calipari feels like he can tell Mitch Barnhart, "Screw you"? You know, I don't have to listen to you. What are you going to do? Fire me?
Well, yeah, he can do that.
You can't fire him.
He can do that if he wants, but you don't sit as the AD and not do your job because you're afraid you might upset the coach. You've got to be in control,
Agreed.
man. You've got to have total control of your program, and that is just an awful look. Now, in a lot of ways, I'm not sure it wasn't a major compliment to football. That football now has gotten to the point where there is competition and they are getting there. And also it lets Coach Stoops use that nobody still respects us, guys. I mean,
you know he is.
I'm not sure this didn't help football in the long run, but still, it's just no class. And if I'm the AD, I nip it immediately.
Okay, let me ask this question. So you've got a guy in Calipari with a gigantic ego. Now, he has called Stoops, it appears, on a couple of 3 occasions, and Stoops has sent him a message, which is hell will freeze over before I take your phone call. If you're Barnhart, is it possible you're going to Stoops and saying, look, I need a favor. I need you to take his phone call and y'all figure it out. Do this for me.
Oh, absolutely. But that would have been my second call. I would have called John first, and then I would immediately call Coach Stoops and say, okay, now I know this upsets you. I can understand that, but this needs to be nipped in the bud now. And the only thing I think that the AD did wrong here, in my just an observation, don't mean I'm right, he's let it go too long. He should have fixed this in a day. Now, if neither one of them wants to fix it, all right, now it goes to a different level. And maybe Coach Stoops don't want to fix it. I don't know. But if I'm the AD, I might even take it to my president to say, we got to nip this in the bud now. I need some help here. Let's stop this thing on the spot.
President so-and-so, I need your help. Okay, let me try this one. I get that Stoops is hot, and I don't blame him for being hot. It was very condescending. I don't agree with you about one thing. To me, this is Calipari. This is who he has always been. He's always been this way. Now, he may mask it with some humor, but he's always been this way.
I can't answer that. I don't know John. I've met John one time through Coach Bartow back many, many years ago, and that was it. So I don't know him at all.
Okay, let me try this one. Let's say that Stoops says, screw him. I'm not having anybody talk to me or my players that way. And he decides that he's going to play this out for a while. What things could go wrong for him if he chooses that tactic?
I don't know that anything for him could go wrong. I don't. This is something that he could take. I know behind the scenes, and I promise you he is, and lighting a fire within his program. And
you know he is.
Here we don't even get respect on our own campus sometimes, or something like that. Now he's not going to say that publicly, but believe me, he's using this. I don't know that there's a negative for him to kind of keep it hot. I just don't think it's good for the university.
What
That's
if they underachieve this year? Will Levis gets hurt. They go 5-7 instead of what they've been doing. I don't think they're going to, but what if they did?
Don't matter. Then they're already a disappointment. So it don't matter if John said that or he didn't or whatever. You go 5-7 with the high expectations of this team, they're going to be disappointed. But I've always thought, George, at every job I had, not this ain't no holier than thou statement, but I've always said, while I'm at this university, I'm always going to make every decision that's best for this university. Not best for me, not best for this or that, but best for this university. And are both of these coaches doing that now?
Well, you know the answer.
Well, that's the only thing that I throw out there as an AD is I would say that to both of them, that guys, you're here to do what's best for this university. I don't see how this bickering back and forth with each other is best for this university.
Calipari's ace in the hole, if this were to play out and get a little uncomfortable, I don't think there's going to be anything uncomfortable about his basketball team. Billy, I don't know how much you've paid attention to this Bahamas trip. They kick butt. They are loaded.
Yeah, they're loaded. And, it feels like we're saying that every year. But I mean, you heard Dick earlier. They're long, they're young, but they're athletic.
They're loaded.
Yeah, it feels like I would love to be somebody covering Kentucky right now, but also a fan. I mean, yeah, you may not want this if you're Mitch Barnhart, but if you're a fan of Kentucky, this lights a fire under both programs, I think.
Watson, there are three things in life that are certainties:
death, taxes.
And in Lexington, they are not talking about the Cincinnati Reds on Sports Talk Radio. Did you like that?
Very true, George. Very true.
Okay. When we come back, guess what we're going to talk about?
What? The Braves.
The defending world champions strike again. Not just on the field, but off the field. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Main Street Media Television. Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're going to have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. So here is the good news and the bad news. The good news, my team, and yes, Watson, they are my team, win or lose. You can try all you want to paint me as this front runner. It's not true.
Proof's in the pudding. All we got to do is go back and get some of the tapes from our latest radio gig, and let's see what you said.
Well, you go get those tapes. You do that and have them tomorrow.
Am I right or wrong?
No, you're dead wrong.
Oh, you lie your fatty off because you know we're not going to go get those tapes.
Well,
you know what?
Get off your butt and make the effort and see what you can get. So, Watson, here is the good news and the bad news. The good news is my team, the defending world champions, have won 8 in a row. And for the second night in a row, ripped up the Mets pretty good. That's the good news. The bad news, tonight and tomorrow night, playtime may be over. Total mismatch tonight. Jake Odorizzi for Atlanta, Max Scherzer for the Mets. Odorizzi has been god-awful in his 2 starts with Atlanta. And if he doesn't pitch way, way better, this is a cupcake tonight for the Mets. Tomorrow night, that's a different story. Probably Max Fried, Atlanta's best starting pitcher, against Jacob deGrom. Now, Watson, off the field, this one caught me totally by surprise. Michael Harris has had a terrific season since they called him up in late May. He's been the catalyst. There's no doubt about it. When they called him up, boom, they took off. But to sign him to a long-term deal, what is it, 8 years? Was that the number?
I don't know if it's 8 years.
It's a bunch.
Let's see.
We'll find it here in a minute. Anyway, Watson, long-term deal, 21-year-old.
Yeah,
This
8 years, $72 million.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new deal that other teams are probably looking around going, what's going on here?
I was a little surprised by it. I mean, he has been fantastic, but has it been long enough to put that kind of years, not the money as much as the years, into him? Was a little surprising to me. But Alex he's always seems to be ahead of the game. I will give him that. He really always seems to, oh, that's not a bad thought, pulling this off. So
yeah.
But you're right. That was surprising, but he's had, this is 2 years in a row where the Braves they just come out smelling like a rose sometimes with the moves they make, where it comes out of left field and you go, wow, has he just turned into something special?
Yeah. Now here's sort of the backstory. So Alex Anthopoulos has been busy signing up people. Austin Riley a couple of weeks ago, now Michael Harris. Way before that, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies. The name that's not on that list, free agent at the end of the year, Vandy grad, and a really good shortstop in Dansby Swanson, who's got to be sitting around going, what's happening here?
Yeah. I agree. I don't know what's happening. Does this mean that they don't think that he is their future? They don't have the money they can't give it to everybody. And so they just got to let somebody go here. I don't know, but it sure doesn't look good for Dansby to me.
There apparently are two schools of thought in Atlanta, and here we go. The first one is that they've decided that he just simply is the one they can't afford and just won't be able to do. So off we go, and Dansby have a nice career, and there will be an uproar in Atlanta. He's from Marietta. He's incredibly popular. He does a lot of the things Tim Corbin taught him to do. Sign autographs, kiss babies, all of that kind of stuff. The secondary thought is that Adam Duvall, who is hurt, will not be signed as a free agent at the end of the year, and they will move this kid, Vaughn Grissom, who has been way better than they had any right to expect, to left field. They feel like he can make the transition. Those are the two schools of thought right now going on in Atlanta.
Then why don't you go ahead and sign Dansby now then, if that's the thought? If the second one is the thought, that we're not going to re-sign him and we'll keep Dansby, what are you waiting on?
That's a great question. I don't have the answer. I will say this. Going to try to get Danny Evans on either tomorrow or Friday. And once we get through talking about Field of Dreams, you better believe that's where we're going.
Did you have Danny last Friday?
We're not able to. And here's what happened. They had a celebrity softball game, and there was a bad injury in the game. And Danny, in the middle of the night, sent me a text apologizing. You had to take care of a bad injury. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So let's check in. Brian Stewart's on the line with us. And I see him there. Brian, they win tonight. We will be happy campers. Even I don't believe in this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to pull off tonight. But hey, even if we get 2 out of 3 here, I mean, it's still got to be good, right? I mean, Meatloaf said it was not bad, right? So
yeah, but Meatloaf wasn't playing a 4-game series.
Well, that's true. Yeah. With anything that you get from the Mets, if you can get a win and in decisive fashion too, let's say that.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Braves are making a statement right now, one way or the other. And how about our young talent, man? Harris and the new kid coming up. I mean, they've got some they've got some arsenal behind them right now, and I feel like we've got a real good chance to make a run here.
I want to go back to something we brought up at the end of the commercial yesterday, the whole buying a house by way of auction. Not many people do that, but talk about what the advantages are to that.
Well, anytime that a house is up for auction, you basically, this is the way I look at it. Whenever you go out for an auction, people that are attracted to that particular home or property, what have you, whenever they get to there and get signed in and all that stuff, they know what they're up against. They know what somebody else is bidding. They know how much they want to spend versus what that bid is running up to. So they know right off the bat that, this is what I'm going to spend. This is what I'm up against. If I want this property, I may have to outbid this person and extend my budget more than I want to, or I just stay where I'm at and wait for another one to come along. It kind of unmasks it for the buyer, because in the past, well, just like with any residential sale, whenever you make an offer and there's other competition, like we've seen in the last couple of years, where you have 10, 15 multiple offer situations going on, it's hard for that buyer to understand what they need to put in order for them to get that property. Let's say they're on a budget and they want to be at $350. Well, when you submit an offer into a regular residential sale, you have no idea what you're up against and what somebody else has offered. Well, when you're out there on an auction site and we're up there, and like you said so eloquently yesterday, the whenever that's going on, they know what the price is, where it's at, and if they want to make a bid for it, then they can make the bid for it.
Okay, tell them how to reach you, not only for auction, but for just normal housing as well.
Well, you said it, George. We specialize in residential, commercial, property management, and we do the auctions. And you can always reach us at 615-822-0750. That is our office number. 615-440-7011 is my cell. And then OneStopRealtyTN.com is our website. And I would love for you guys to get out there and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I always have good information for everybody on there.
Beautiful. Brian, let's do it again tomorrow. Appreciate it.
All right, George. Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
Go Braves. We'll go to the break. Do I take them again tonight? Probably not, but let's see where we are going. Plaster Bet of the Day is next. This is Main Street Media Television.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Yes, it is time for Plaster's Bet of the Day as we close out the show. Can George get above 500? He has not been above 500, I think, since the third. Was it the third show? So we'll have to figure that out. But George first.
Should have been above 500 today. He should be.
There's a little jab from Watson.
You know what?
He picks the Braves 2 nights ago. He's above 500 today, is he not?
He's been negative.
He would be
all week.
He would be.
Been negative all week.
We'll see if he takes him tonight. We go to Bart Durham Injury Law, the sponsor of Plaster's Bet of the Day. Since 1975, Bart Durham Injury Law has aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. If you too have seen your life interrupted by an injury on a highway, in a hospital, or at your workplace, you should let their attorneys do the work fighting for the full compensation that you need. Learn more about Bart Durham Injury Law by logging on to bartdurham.com. And George, we take a look at the results this week. Solid week so far. Of course, did not pick the Braves on Monday. That bit you. But you came back with a Braves win last night. 13-13. How's the confidence level?
This will be the fourth attempt to get over the hump. 0 for 3 so far, Watson.
Let's see it. What you got?
Are you in the dark up there?
Well, it's kind of getting there, yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm going to put some light in your life. You ready?
Yeah, you set that one up good, didn't you?
Yes,
George, give me a second. I might need some stalling going on here.
No,
there's no. And this is not like I've made some last minute change.
What do we do, George? We go, the way you grow it out here.
You go stretch.
This you may need to keep stretching.
Keep stretching. Really?
This is awful.
Wow. Don't you dare
George,
put up last night. There we go.
Well, it's not up yet, George.
It isn't?
Not up yet.
Okay. Well,
you want to give a little sneak peek?
Oh, I'll be glad to say it.
Is it the Braves?
No.
No Braves?
No, because Jake Odorizzi thus far, Watson, has been a fraud.
Fraud. I know. But there's no Braves that are frauds. No.
Excuse me?
I said there's no Braves that are frauds. But
no, I never said that.
Over, you call a Brave a fraud.
Look, he's been there a week. Okay, he's giving up like 2 hits per inning pitched. So tonight, Watson, we are going with the St. Louis Cardinals at home against the Colorado Rockies.
I'm not sure why I've got Colorado in orange. I forgot to change that, but
that's okay. Let's put them there. And St. Louis, of course, they've been the Bluebirds. They've been the Bluebirds for years.
Until the coordination's off today.
Royals.
What was that, Watson?
I said that looks more like the Kansas City Royals.
But you know what? when it goes in the win column tonight, it'll count just the same.
Yeah.
Nobody will care about
that
this
one. That one, I think you got a good shot at. I'll be an innocent bystander and pat you on the back on that one. I think that's a good pick.
And if the Braves win tonight, that'll be awesome. Ooh. By the way, I need to say this before we get out of here. The kids from Nolensville, they're leading 5-3. They have had about a 2-hour rain delay or lightning delay, and they are in the 5th inning in that game. I have no idea what the Little League rules are. On the major league level, if you finish 5, it can be a complete game if the home team's ahead. I don't think they do that.
I don't think they do that in the World Series. I think they come back and play it no matter when it's got to be played. They just back everything up.
Okay, you try to improve your attitude.
My attitude's good. My attitude is real good. You started it today when you got on the Carolina Blue. You started the whole thing. I mean, with a dude that's wearing a 1985 shirt, and then you want to get on me. You started this whole thing today, so don't go there. This is what he does, Billy. He'll sit around and he'll tell everybody else how negative they are, and then he backs away, and he's the one that starts most of the stuff.
I've had enough of you. I'm going to tell your brother exactly what you said about him.
Tell him. Maybe he'll send me a shirt.
See you tomorrow.
Man.
Billy, see you tomorrow.
George, I'll see you tomorrow.
All of you behave. Thanks for being with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. This is Main Street Media Television.